Hello, everybody. I've decided to reactivate my channel, and I know this is going to upset a lot of people because most of you don't have anything nice to say to me, which is partially why I deleted my channel. But I think, given the extreme danger my life is in, it's important for me to publicly document these events. So where I've been, I decided to delete my channel after I found out that Stephanie's name was Rebecca. So when I found out that her name was Rebecca, I decided to do some investigating into some of the people that I believed were Stephanie, who contacted me on catfish accounts. And so I reached out to the account Barry Wood, which was the most notorious catfish Stephanie created, and I got her to admit that her name was Rebecca. So her name being Rebecca doesn't really change the story for the better in my perception. In fact, it makes it worse because Rebecca lied to me for over 14 years about what her name was. And, that doesn't make me feel any better, quite frankly. So anyway, I deleted my channel because most of the feedback I was receiving from people were death threats and people personally attacking me for issues that had nothing to do with what my YouTube channel was discussing. And I thought it would be safe to say goodbye for a little while. Well, my life is in grave danger, and I want to publicly vlog this incident. And I genuinely believe this is because both Stephanie, or I guess her name is Rebecca and Belle Delphine have been catfishing me for a really long time now and corroborating with someone who has personally attacked me. Now, I don't want to point any fingers, but I do want to tell the factuals of the story. On Friday, on Friday, the 25th of July, I went to go check my mail in my neighborhood, which I do all the time. Now, we have a community mailbox, meaning a shared group of people in the neighborhood share the same mailbox, and there's a box for each house that we all collectively share. It's a community mailbox. On Friday, the 25th, I went to go check the mail. And I was surprised to see that it had fallen over, and the tree that was right next to the mailbox had also fallen over. Now, what I found particularly strange about the mailbox, in addition to it being knocked over, was that the stand it was fallen that it used to be perched up on was facing the opposite direction of where it was originally placed. And physics dictate that a fall can't do that with its face facing upwards. So it was clearly tampered with, and I decided to go talk to my mom, and I told her, I'm not getting the mail today because this is really suspicious, and if this is a criminal case, then I don't want my fingerprints over what's going on. So I decided, after I spoke with my mother, to text my neighbor, who knows everything going on in the neighborhood that lives across the street, what happened and if he had seen the mailbox. He responded to my mother after I texted him, which is a minor detail to the story that doesn't really add much, but it was just interesting. And he said to my mother that the neighbor across the street from the mailbox caught it on their Amazon Ring camera and got the license plate of the truck that hit the mailbox and drove off. Now, it was really strange. I was kind of like, okay. I didn't feel fearful yet because, it could have just been an accident. 2 days pass, and the mailbox is still knocked over, and I go on an evening stroll on the 27th, Sunday the 27th of July, and the mailbox is gone. I took a picture of the mailbox fallen over just to have proof, and I'll include pictures of that in the description, and on Sunday, the mailbox was completely gone. I figured the homeowners association came through and picked it up, and were going to replace it soon, or have it fixed, or whatever they were going to do with a fallen mailbox. So I didn't very much think of it heavily. A few days pass. It is now Wednesday the 30th, and we have no way to get our mail, so we go to the post office. Early in the morning, bright and early in the morning, we head to the local post office downtown. I sit in the car. My mother walks in to go grab the post, and she comes out with a smile on her face and goes like that. And I see her in the car, and I'm like, what? Why is she smiling? She starts laughing, and she says, guess what? The mailbox was stolen, and we have to go to the other post office downtown to get our mail because there's 2 post offices downtown. So I didn't understand why that was funny, but I thought, wow, that's really suspicious, given that a couple years ago someone chased me through my neighborhood demanding to know where I live, and then shortly after that attempted to murder me twice. And now my mailbox is missing. I thought it was a really strange pattern of events. So anyway, we go to the second mailbox, we pick up our mail, and I'm in the car ride home. I'm telling my mom, you should probably file a police report because our mail was in that box and it was stolen, because I decided not to pick it up on Friday because I just didn't want to touch it. So we get home, and my mother receives an email from the homeowners association, like shortly after we got back home. And the homeowners association says, you know, a mailbox has fallen on our street. There is an open investigation. It has been reported to the police. If you have any missing mail, or please contact us. So my mother takes my advice, and she calls the non-emergency line, and she talks to an officer. This is where it gets really interesting. She gets through to the officer, and the officer starts laughing at her. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's a really funny situation. A man was teaching his child how to drive, and the child backed into the mailbox, knocking it over. And the homeowners association came to pick it up on Sunday. And actually, he got the dates of when everything happened wrong. He said the mailbox fell on Saturday, and it was taken by the homeowners association on Sunday, which I can prove was not the truth through the timestamps on when I took the pictures of the mailbox. But my mother, when he told him that information, called him on all his bullshit and was like, no, it was stolen on the 25th, or it was knocked over on the 25th, and it disappeared on the 20th, on the 27th, I mean. So she also brought up the fact that she had just received an email from the homeowners association telling us that it was stolen. So why was he telling us that the homeowners association just picked it up? There was a discrepancy with the information the police officer was giving us versus what the homeowners association and the post office was telling us. Both the homeowners association and the post office told us the mailbox was stolen, but the people investigating the issue said the homeowners association picked it up, which I thought was really, really strange. So after Mother makes the point to the police officer that he was wrong, he says, well, if that's the case, then the homeowners association has to file a police report for everyone in the neighborhood who has missing mail. So my mother gets off the phone. She contacts the homeowners association via email one more time and says, I just spoke with a non-emergency. He wouldn't let me file a report because he said you had to do it, and he also said you guys picked up the mailbox. 5 minutes after she sent that mail to the homeowners association, they replied promptly and said we did not pick up the mailbox, and that they would file a report. So that was July the 30th. A week passes by, and we go to the mailbox on the week of the 3rd to the 9th of August. I'm not sure exactly what date it was, but we have to go to the post office to pick up our mailbox, or our mail, because we have no mailbox. So we go to the post office one more time, and we pick up the mail. And the man at the post office, says that the mailbox is under inspection right now. So that's strange. It just seems weird. A couple days after we go to the post office, there's a new mailbox where the old one used to be, with a sign on it that says, go to the mailbox and get your key. Mother goes back to the post office, and they tell her that she can't get the key because it's under inspection. So we still can't get the key, even though it shows up. It's still under inspection. A couple more days pass. She goes back to the post office to pick up her mail, and she asks for the key or when the key will be ready. And they say, the mailbox is now under investigation, and we don't know when we'll have keys available for you, but you have to wait until the investigation is concluded. So we don't know when we're going to get our mail key back. And that was all just really strange, because it went from, stolen to picked up by the homeowners association to stolen to under inspection to under investigation, all within 2 weeks of time. And I started to feel like, I'm a victim of a crime. And I started to think, this kind of fits the narrative that I've been telling people for a really long time now, that my life is in danger and someone is after me, but people keep writing it off as schizophrenia. Well, medication isn't going to bring back my fucking mailbox, so don't tell me to take my meds, please. So anyway, a couple of more weeks passed and we're at current date, and now we are able to go pick up our mail key from the mailbox. We still haven't done it because we've had other things to do, but they haven't concluded what happened to the mailbox, and I suspect they never will. I don't think they will ever find out who took our mailbox. I think it's an unsolved mystery, and someone has now gone through our mail and gotten away with a horrible, horrible crime. I've been victimized heavily. I have been the list of like crimes I have been victimized to in the past 2 years is somebody chased me through the street demanding to know where I live. Someone threatened to murder me. Someone attempted to murder me. And now my mailbox is gone. So it's not a question of like my mental health anymore. It's a certified fact that somebody is after me. And I don't know if they'll ever be caught. Now, as if that wasn't bad enough, shortly around the time I first started this YouTube channel, I was talking to this woman on another social media site who shared a lot of the same interests as me. This is completely unrelated to the post office story, but this video is about where I've been and I want to talk about it. This woman and I had so much in common. We both wanted to live in an RV when we have the money for it. We both wanted to adopt children, and we both had a fancy for an IT career. So we talked about that a lot, and she was very sweet. I haven't met a woman more sweet to me than her. She invited me to live with her in her RV after she moved into her car and saved up enough money to purchase a double wide RV that she could drive around. And she said I could be her chef, her personal chef, as long as I continued going to school. So I thought, really, this is awesome. And I started thinking of ways that I could plan for my future to be with her and live in an RV trailer, which is what I've wanted to do for a long time now. And so I started looking for like necessities to buy that I could bring when we lived together, like microfiber towels and storage containers and, different kitchen appliances. I started shopping for that, and we started talking about, potentially living together one day. And she was a very sweet woman to me. She was very kind. She believed a lot of what I said. And, she recognized that I do have a history of mental illness, but she didn't judge me or think that was a bad piece of me. She was very accepting of my past, and it was the kind of love that I've been looking for in a person for my whole life. Someone that accepted me for who I was and didn't judge me because of my past and was willing to work on creating a better future for the both of us. Well, she was planning to work and live in her car and save up money while she worked for her IT company, and she made really good money. But the day before the mailbox went missing, so this would be, July 24th, she reached out to me. Well, actually, let's go back a little bit further. We used to speak every day, and around July 17th, after about 2 weeks of living in her car, she went rogue. She went missing, and I didn't hear anything from her, and I started to worry because she's a vulnerable woman living in her car, and she hasn't contacted me in a very long time. So the 24th comes around, and she messages me from the hospital, and she says, I got sick with pyelonephritis, which is a kidney infection, and I'm sitting in the hospital right now. They are currently waiting to release me, to discharge me from the hospital as soon as I can hold down food, and they will be giving me antibiotics to take. And I thought, oh gosh, I was so worried about you. I still am worried because you're in the hospital, but it's so nice to hear from you. Please let me know what's going on. Now, the chances of dying from pyelonephritis in the hospital are incredibly low unless you get sepsis. The 24th of July was the last time I heard from her. Today is the 24th of August. She would get online on the social media site, but she wouldn't say anything or interact with my posts. The last time she liked a post I made was on the 26th of July. And then she'd get online, but she didn't say anything. And then August 10th was the last time she got online. She hasn't been online for 2 weeks now, and I fear the worst has happened to her. It's really sad. I feel like I just found love and she's dead. I have assumed now that she's dead. Today is her birthday, and she told me when she was still alive and well that she wanted me to make her hamburger steak, which is something I've never made before. So for her birthday today, I'm going to make hamburger steak, and I'm going to post pictures of it on the social media site where we gathered. Now, that's a lot of really bad news. I've also, since I've been gone, started up at a new university that is an online university that's at your own pace, so I can go as fast as I want. And there's 4 classes to my term that I have enrolled into. And as of yesterday, which would be as of Friday, which is August 22nd, I have completed over half of my first term in under 3 weeks, or about 3 weeks exactly. No, it was about 3 weeks exactly, because I started on Friday the 1st and I finished my second class on Friday the 22nd. So 3 weeks it took me to get halfway through my first term at university, which means I'm moving at a fast pace, and I have a 4.0 still. That's really awesome. So I'm doing really well in school. It's just all the other stuff that has accumulated since I've been gone has been very stressful for me, and I feel like my life is in danger. And I also feel like I lost, my final chance at finding love. So I'm very heartbroken right now. I'm going to be turning off comments to my videos from this point on, because most of what people have to say is irrelevant to what it is I'm saying and is just pure hatred that I don't want to subject myself to at this moment. I get enough hatred on Threads that I don't need any more on YouTube. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And it's all because of SAMEKOSABA and Doobie 3D that I have no peace or happiness in my life right now, and I am a constant victim of crimes that nobody is addressing. So have a good day. God bless you, and goodbye.